So in this video, we will be specifically talking about the new IPD route, the IPD route which has been closed and now the new route that we will be discussing. Okay. So before, if you want to get CMIOSH, the only possible way was IPD route. And now this route has been closed for like past 4 to 5 months. This new announcement has came. So just a brief introduction about what is this IPD route, because many of the people have already joined this IPD route. So what is this IPD route? See, IPD route is actually for a graduate member. Nowadays, there is no graduate member. Nowadays, there is only cert IOSH or certified member. Okay. Nowadays,
Yes,
there is
yes,
no
sir.
graduate member. So before, when it was during the days of graduate holder, there was IPD route. So when this graduate member was actually joining for or was actually aspiring to get the CMIOSH, the only way was IPD route. And this IPD route has like levels has two ways of this one of like checking the knowledge gap of the individual. Either you have to go through a skill development portfolio or you have to go to open book assessment. See, these were the two tests. These were the two tests, and these tests were according to the level 6 diploma that you have done. See, for example, if you have done NVQ level 6 diploma, then you would have to go directly to this open book assessment, which was a multiple choice question. And if you would have done OTHM or NVQ ID, you would have to done this skill development portfolio. Skill development portfolio, you would have to submit assignments. Okay, you would have
Okay.
to submit
Okay.
assignments. In this open book assessment, there is direct multiple choice question. And this was much more easier, and this was much more tougher
Mm.
because ultimately you would have to create projects and all. So this was ultimately different. It was ultimately difficult. Okay, so that now there is no point of discussing about this whether there is good or whether this is bad because this is closed already. Okay,
Yes.
but I would say that this created a lot of confusion because some people would have to go for examination, some people would have to go for projects. There was no like common route for all the people. Now things has become, the process has become simple. Now the process is same for all the people. Whether you are doing
Mhm.
NVQ, whether you are doing OTHM, whether you are doing NIBOSH ID, the process is same. Now the process is PDA process. Actually, we have four now. Actually, we have four this one, four steps. We have four stages. Four stages we have. So in this four stages, it is common for all. First, it will be knowledge assessment. First, they will be assessing your knowledge. They will be understanding what is your knowledge. They will be checking what knowledge you have in the safety field. So that would be checked based upon the IOSH competency criteria. There are certain criterias which IOSH is having, 69 criterias IOSH has listed. So based upon that, they will be giving you multiple choice questions. So based upon those
Okay.
multiple choice questions, they would be actually assessing your knowledge, and then they will be identifying your gaps. Okay,
Okay.
they will be identifying your gaps, and that, based upon that only, you have to proceed further. So first they will be giving you an examination, and in that examination they will be understanding what is your knowledge gap. So they will be identifying your knowledge gap, and then based upon, this is the first step, based upon the knowledge assessment, uh, so they will be understanding your knowledge gap, what gap you are having. So based upon that multiple choice questions, once you complete that examination, they will be understanding what is the shortfalls that you are having. Based upon that, you have to submit an action plan, that what all things you will do to cover those knowledge gaps. See, for example, you have a question regarding multiple choice. The questions are all multiple choice. Okay, so you have a question regarding a PPE. So in that question, you are not able to answer correctly. So there is a knowledge gap. So now you have to address that knowledge gap. So what all steps you will be making, what all steps you will be undergoing in order to cover that knowledge gap. So you will be basically doing courses. You will be basically implementing that specific thing in your site. So that knowledge gap is covered. So that is the first step. Second, portfolio of evidence. Document how you address the gaps. So you will be giving the evidences. You will be giving the reports. You will be giving the reports how you have covered that knowledge gap. Then professional
Okay.
discussion paper. So this is a project report that you will be developing. There is an outline how you have to develop. There is a word limit how you have to develop. All those things you have to develop, and based on that you have to submit a professional developmental paper, and then you will be having a final interview. So this final interview stage is same for the older IPD route and the new PDA process, but what has changed is these three process. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
things are actually now simple compared to the previous IPD route, because the steps are same to all, steps are similar to all, steps are faster. Earlier, it used to
Mm-hmm.
take so much amount of time. If you are going for the skill development, the portfolio, making the projects and all, it would have covered you a lot of time. But now things are, I won't say the process is simple, but process is streamlined and the time required is less. Because first step is you will be doing your multiple choice questions. And once the multiple choice questions is made, then you will be developing evidences to cover those knowledge gaps. And then you will be actually submitting a reflective paper. Reflective paper means based upon these two steps, you will be submitting a paper. What was your journey? That paper outline would be a reflective type of outline, and then there will be an interview. So each step we'll be discussing one by one. Okay. So this is just a comparison of what is the new route and what is an old route. So this is an IPD route and this is PDA route. So IPD route, basically the grad IOSH members used to apply. Now there is no grad IOSH. Now there is now only membership that we have is a cert IOSH members or certified members. And these certified members, in order to get into CMIOSH, we pursue PDA route. Okay. So here basically those seven projects, the projects and all were developed. And when you were developing those projects, you would be getting the competency. So these projects were intended, so they were intended so that you develop your competency. But now you are actually having the competency and they are checking your competency for getting the starter checks. Okay. So they are checking, they are analyzing your knowledge gap, whether you are fit for getting this CMIOSH or before and all, you were done into a process in which you would be developing this all these resources and all. Inherently, when you are developing, you would be getting the competency, but now they are checking your competency. That is why the time required is less. Okay.
Yes.
In this, you have two methods. In this, you have two routes. One is open book assessment, and other one is you would be submitting your projects. Now we have only one route, that is simple route. That is once your knowledge gap is done, then you would be submitting the evidences and then completely the interview process. Okay. So this is actually you will be demonstrating your achievements here. Actually, you are building knowledge and then you are developing the projects and all those things. It is taking longer time. Now the PDA route is taking much lesser time. Okay. So see, knowledge assessment, the first step, there are total four steps: knowledge assessment, portfolio of evidence, professional discussion paper, and then finally interview. First, you will be having an examination, which would be multiple choice examination. And based upon those examinations, you would have to submit evidences to cover those knowledge gap. Third step, you have to generate a reflective statement. You have to generate a reflective narration. That will be a discussion paper, which would be 3,000 to 5,000 words. And then finally, you will be having an interview. So this is the process. Only four processes there. And this four process, if you can cover, you can easily get CMIOSH process. Okay, but all this
Okay.
process, the twist is the all this process is dependent upon the first step. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so your knowledge assessment, if you have very less amount of knowledge gap, if you can demonstrate that yes you are capable, then all your work in the step two would be very less. So this is the first step. And first
How
step,
much time, sir? What is the anticipated time, sir? I mean, minimum, how much time it will take to finish off this entire process,
see
usually?
what Ayush is telling is 1.5 years. 1.5 years is the maximum time that they are giving. If you would have completed like if you would have completed before that, then it is okay. But within that time period, within that 1.5 years of time period, if you are not completing, then you would have to register this again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Okay.
maximum time period based upon our experience and all those things, I would say that, see, in this process, maximum 4 to 6 months is enough. Okay, 4 to 6 months
6
is enough.
months.
Okay,
4 to 6 months. Okay.
maximum 4 to 6 months is enough. 2.5 months of interview training, and then this one, your evidence submissions, and then reflective statement and examinations, and all can be covered within a span of 4 to 6 months. Okay, so this knowledge assessment, let us discuss one by one. So this knowledge assessment will be testing you against the IOSH competency framework. There are IOSH competency framework which I discussed. There are 16 competencies framework which is divided into 3 categories: technical, core, and behavior. Okay, so in this frameworks they would be actually making multiple choice question. They will be having multiple choice question. Those questions are specifically they would be addressing these 16 competencies. Okay, so once you do that, then you will be getting a personalized report where you are actually lagging behind. What is your skill gap you'll be getting? Based upon that, you have to you have to close those competency gap. Okay, so how you would be submitting those competency gaps? You would have to submit relevant documents, reports, certificates, or case studies, etc. Okay, see, for example, that is what I told. Once you have identified you have certain gaps in PPE, then you have to demonstrate certain examples, or you will be showing certain reports that you have conducted all those things, you have conducted TBT, then you will be giving reports and all those documents you would be making. Okay, so that is how you would be clearing your knowledge gap. That is how you would be demonstrating that you have successfully uh, addressed that knowledge gap. Okay, so this is the second step, and then you have to develop a professional discussion paper. Okay, and this would be a reflective type of paper. That means how you have successfully completed, or how you have successfully faced those knowledge gaps, how you have covered those knowledge gaps, what all things you have done. So this would be a reflective type. This would be a professional journey. Even in this, you can include your CPD records also. Okay, how you have developed, how you have identified gaps, and what you have done to identify or to clear those gaps, and what is your future plans. Such a professional discussion paper you have to submit, and the word count is 3,000 to 5,000 words. And then finally there will be an interview process. In this interview process, nothing would be asked from outside. Everything that they would be asking in your interview would be from your CPD records. Then they would be asking you from the CPD records. Then they would be asking you from your this one, from your knowledge gaps, all those things. Okay,
Yes.
knowledge gaps and all those things. They will be asking how you have actually faced those knowledge gaps and those skill gaps. How you have addressed this. What all reports you have submitted. So nothing they would be asking from outside. They would be asking based upon your CPD records and all you have done. CPD also, I would say that you would have, if you are aiming for CMIOSH, I would say that you should actually start your CPD process, because 30 hours of CPD is that only required. Only 30 hours of CPD is required. Nothing much more is required. That is a minimum amount of CPD hours that you have to require is 30 hours. That can be done easily, but don't wait for the final moment. Start from now itself. Okay. So this
In the
is
IOSH blueprint, you mean to say, correct? The IOSH
IOSH
blueprint,
blueprint. Yeah.
correct?
Once
Yeah,
you
yeah.
once you register, you will be getting this IOSH blueprint, and from there you can start developing your CPD also. CPD is a mandatory thing. You have to complete your CPD. They will be also doing your CPD audit also. But those things you won't be having marks and all. In your PDA process, these are the 4 things. But CPD is mandatory. CPD anyhow,
Mm-hmm.
without even CMIOSH, even if you're not going for CMIOSH also, you have to do your CPD. CPD is a mandatory thing. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is the 4-step process. Any doubts?
No, sir. Clear, clear.
Okay.
Yeah, regarding
So
this,
initially, I mean, the CPD I will start.
Start with
So
your
I mean, I have to get this certified IOSH also. So yeah, waiting for this level 6. You know that. I mean,
I know.
waiting for this.
Yeah, understood. CPD is is easy task. CPD is an easy task, and we can do, no problem. No problem with it.
so can you hear me, sir?
Yeah.
So my
Hello.
question is, sir, that
Yeah.
my question is the knowledge assessment and the blueprint questionnaire. they are the same thing or they are two different altogether?
Blueprint, have you registered for your this one PDA process? Have you registered?
I have not registered, sir, but I have gone through the blueprint and I have answered those questions. It is a set of two questions. Every item, it's like professional development and other headings, and there are
There is
two
one
sets of
question for
questions, and I have completed it, and then it says which level I am at. So that I have completed, sir. So that blueprint questionnaire is the same
that is
one you are
different,
mentioning knowledge assessment.
different. This process, PDA process, will start only once you pay the fees.
I got it, sir. That is probably 550 pounds. Got it,
Fees, I
sir.
will tell you, it is approximately 550 pounds. Yeah, 550 pounds. Yeah, correct. Now, actually, discounts are also available. You just check if you are actually uh, having the criteria, fulfilling the criteria for discounts. If you have, you can apply for it. Okay.
Got it.
Like if you are actually unemployed, if you are without projects, if you are sitting at your home, you can go for that unemployed, all those things. If you are having any kind of leave and all those things, if you can give some documents, supporting documents for that, if you are having any ill health or if you are retired. Now the provision of this concession is there. Before it was not there. Okay. Before it was not even 550 pounds also. Now they have increased the fees.
Got it, sir. Got it, sir.
Fine. And see, along with the CPD, actually, you have one more examination, and that one more examination is based upon ethical framework. That is also common for all. Okay, but that is an easy examination that we are not including in these 4 steps because these 4 steps is actually the main process. So and these 4 steps, once you complete these 4 steps, you have a final examination also, which is an ethical examination. They will be checking based upon the ethics criteria of IOSH. There will be an examination that is also common for all. Okay. But these 4 steps are the important steps that everyone has to follow. Other one, it is actually as we said, you have to complete your 30 hours of CPD. Along with that 30 hours of CPD, you have to also complete your ethical part. For the ethical part also, there is an examination. That examination is not a very tough examination, but that is also common, and that you can do now also, no problem. But this examination, the skill gap analysis and all, will be starting only once you pay the fees. So payment of fees is important. Once you feel that yes, you have this level 6 diploma and you can move forward, then you can directly register in the IOSH website. You can pay the fees and then you can start one by one. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. You start with the registration process. You start with the registration process and you start with the skill gap analysis. Skill gap analysis, before you do the skill gap analysis, make sure that you prepare well, you read all the basics well. Because if you fail in the first step, then your work in the subsequent steps would be much higher. That's
Yes,
the
yes.
case. Okay. So prepare yourself, do very well in the first step itself so that your subsequent steps and your subsequent process are easier. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.